just reheard. Oh, hey, Juan Carlos. When was the last time you sang to yourself or someone else? Livia, go.
Last time you sang? 2 days ago.
What was the song?
And at home. I was just I just make up songs sometimes. And I'll pass to Nate.
Well, last night and every time I'm in the shower, I usually just put a playlist on and I'll just start singing. So it'll be fun. But yeah, I'll pass it to Wonka.
Yeah, I think I also sing in my house in the mornings. I like to put happy music and yeah, have a good energy on the start of the day. I'll pass to Mitch.
Mine's kind of sad, but I think the last time was singing happy birthday to somebody on Discord. That's about the most singing I do. I'll pass it to Tam.
I sing every time I walk with my daughter to school and back from school, and it's made up stuff. Like, just nonsense. You're so amazing. Can't believe it. I'm so lucky that you're mine. And my daughter's like, people can hear us, but I love it. It's really nice. So I sing every day, but it's like nonsense songs. And I'll pass to Zed.
Yeah, I sing every day, like when I'm working out or when I'm chilling. It's like I listen to lots of music and I just sing them. But yeah, I'll pass it to you.
Yeah, I would say that Lauren kicks on some music pretty often, little dance break here and there, and we're always singing the same random songs. I'll pass it to Chewy. I think the question was, how often do you sing? I don't know what the question was, actually.
Oh, the question's like, when was the last time you sang?
Yeah, so yesterday. Chewy?
Can remember, probably like karaoke night somewhere. But yeah, I really get into it. So maybe we can all go to a karaoke bar next time we meet. I'll pass it to Nate.
I think Wonka, did you go? No. Okay. All right. So I know Angela will join us, but she's not here yet. So maybe we just get started anyway. So the idea is how we can bring the token engineering and token engineering commons communities closer together. And there's a lot of advantages to this, obviously, you know, in our retrospective. I think we've been saying this for a while, like, we want more token engineers, we want more token engineers. And in our retrospective, that was one of the things that came up. And so the idea now is for us to sort of brainstorm on some ways that the token engineering commons community can reach out and bring the token engineering community closer to us, and as well as for Angela to share her thoughts on it too. And let me just send her a quick reminder too, because I checked with her this morning. Oops.
Do we know exactly what she means by that? By the communities? Is it like infrastructure? Is it people? Is it Discord? Is it?
Well, it's really the the token engineering Discord. So sort of the history is that there used to just be one Discord server, and we were all on the same Discord server. The token engineering Discord server was the only Discord server that we used, and there were channels for the token engineering commons, which I think sort of started to grow and grow and grow and maybe overtake it a little. I think that there was also some question about talking about price, like potential price for the TEC that I'm not 100% sure what all of the reasons were, but we did eventually create a TEC Discord server. And so the idea is, okay, sorry, she was in a Google Meet. Is there a Google Meet associated with this? I have to take that off if there is. Yeah, there is. I'm gonna kill it. That's too bad that that happened. Okay.
Hello.
Hi, Angela. Sorry about that. I just deleted the Google Meet from the calendar. I didn't even realize it was there.
Finally found you. Hello again.
So I was just giving a brief history of Nate asked the question about what it is that when we mean by communities, bringing our communities closer together. And then I started to explain that we used to be on one Discord server and now there's 2 Discord servers. And the idea is how we can bring the token engineering community and token engineering commons community to be closer together. But I'd like to give you the floor to maybe introduce some of the ideas that you're thinking about and some of the hopes that you have, and then we'll start a session where we can share our ideas around how we can achieve these things.
Yeah, so basically, Tamara and we had a chat on the very interesting story of our first DAO proposal at Ocean DAO. So the first time TE Academy received funding from another DAO in a community voting. And of course, this was an exciting case for us to see how the reaction is. I mean, we are not building tech. We are not like driving customers or network revenues. We are doing research. And now, how would a community react on that? And then we had some very interesting findings. We thought, okay, let's share this with you guys because this is about community work and community as an asset. First, before I start with that, a brief note on that one. Patty is going to be a new team member starting 1st of November, and one of her goals will be to clean up the token engineering Discord. So there will be changes on the token engineering Discord, and I think it would be great then to have more conversation on how to bring these 2 channels together. And happy to have your ideas. All right, now the DAO to DAO and Communities United, or however you might want to call it. So my main message here is, for me, the big learning of the Ocean DAO story was we all, or at least myself, happy to hear your thoughts here, but we all think about, okay, when we do community work, we try to attract people from outside and pull them into our community, into TE Academy, into TE Commons. But something really, really important and where we really can make a difference is the exact opposite direction. If we go outside to other DAOs, promoting our vision, purpose of token engineering, this can have a huge impact. And here we've learned that communities like Ocean DAO or even projects who now realize, oh, wow, we were focusing on building tech. We don't have a community of supporters around us, as opposed to you guys at TE Academy. You have this amazing TE Commons crowd, and that's a real asset when it comes to community voting, for example, for funding or other activities. Let me give you some more inputs on that. I'll share my let me check. So I don't know if you have to stop for, oh no, takes a moment. It seems my connection is really slow. Okay.
Is it something I could share?
I'm just looking for the right tab. Wait, so many tabs open. Okay. Slow loading. Okay, here we go. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
It should give you the Ocean Pearl interface, and this is our proposal at the Ocean DAO voting round 10. This round 10 concluded, I think, 1.5 weeks ago. We were just a couple of days in advance to the voting to publish it, and this is the overview. And ultimately, we landed on 5 million votes yes and 3 million votes no. We succeeded to receive the grant, and this is the final result. Now, it looked quite different in the beginning. So just give an impression. Let's jump on the actual proposal. You should now see the Ocean Port screen. See it? The black one.
Yeah, we see it.
Okay, cool. So here are the comments in the voting, and maybe a special thing at Ocean DAO is the return of investment calculation. And now how to calculate the return on investment for a research group, 3-month community research program. So maybe I should say something about the actual proposal. This is the Governance Reward Systems Research Initiative. We are going to run this program. Livy is one of our core researchers to work on cases, actual DAO cases, reward systems like praise, plus plan is to explore near tips are similar to praise, so individual contributions, next to the proposal voting on near DAO and the proposal voting on Ocean DAO. So we take various ways of distributing rewards in a DAO. We analyze data from systems in production and come up with learnings and improve, then in the second step, come up with improved mechanisms and simulations. So token engineering work that is focusing on DAO reward systems. This is our proposal. Please, Ocean DAO, fund the research program so that we are able to pay our core researchers, to pay the facilitation, and in total we need around 60K, and here we ask Ocean DAO to get 20K. So this is the overall proposal, and then actually we suggest a KPI here, which is grant efficiency, and this is then ultimately leading to, okay, if your grant system is more efficient, you'll reduce wasting funds to grants and projects that are not successful. You can take a look at it to all the details, but okay, we actually did suggest a return of investment, which I'd say, I think the metric is not too bad, needs further exploration for sure, but we believe that actually we can provide a return of investment, which is for research always super hard to prove, I'd say. Okay, now I just want to share some of the reactions. So we had really good reaction from the Ocean DAO. I mean, Trent supported us. Other community members supported us, but there were also critical comments. And I just want to share some of the, it's actually unclear what you're doing with the money requested, what token engineering is going to work on with this money. Grant efficiency, this is not an existing metric. So come on, let's use the existing metrics. I mean, these metrics are all referring to totally different things, but nevertheless, okay, do you insist on this should be existing metrics? Then I reacted on this. You might want to read. Happy to share the link. And then, yeah, this person came back. You should come up with specific deliverables. I mean, I try to explain that research is always about you first need to understand the question, then the actual problem. And this is not about building and just creating stuff. And you might be familiar with such discussions on, okay, why research? It's irrelevant to discuss your preferred mode of working. Research has a different process. I don't care. Then, oh yes, here, interesting. Only person that continues to talk about conviction voting is Trent. So this is, here we have a bias. There are whales. There are the big influences in our community. Trent is the founder of Ocean Protocol. And this is then, let's say, obviously also motivated by, okay, there is an influential person in our community that is promoting conviction voting, but actually conviction voting is nonsense. And here we have an interesting conclusion. I think one problem with assuming that all burned ocean tokens are bad, blah, blah, blah. It's actually, he's saying burning tokens is way better than distributing to such projects, such weird projects like Token Engineering Academy. And here, this is a tiny signal to this. You probably know the Bitcoin maximalists who are so in love with the fact that we have deflation, and this will automatically increase the value of Bitcoin. And this is why Bitcoin is so much better than any other token. So they focus on this tiny little element, ignoring all the rest of it. And this person similar does. Burning tokens is way better. What I didn't know at this time is that in the background, there was a new Telegram channel kicked off with huge support. I think finally there were several thousands of people in it. And some of the investors just try to promote, let's burn tokens, because then we can pump the token, the ocean token. If we reduce the amount, we will ultimately end with a value increase, and then we can dump it again and can make our profits. I mean, quite stupid assumption, I must say, because the amount to be burned in a single voting round is way too tiny to have any impact on the price. And actually, ultimately, when the voting closed, the price dropped due to other effects. But they just thought they can make a difference. What I want to say here is we had a dynamic in opinion making in the token holder crowd that was really, I'd say, hurting the overall goal of the Ocean DAO, but I feel it's pretty typical in crypto. People jumping on a narrative, people trying to pump, and they just ignore all the rest, particularly a little bit more, let's say, difficult things to understand in conviction voting, perhaps, or research. But yeah, that's my opinion. Now, but what to do then? So all the projects, not only TE Academy, were struggling with this momentum. Now here is a dashboard of round 10. And imagine in previous rounds, around 15 proposals, and I'd say 75% got confirmed in previous rounds. This round was different in many ways. One way was that typically an average project proposal got around 1.5 million votes maximum. Now we got 5 million votes in this round, and there were other, as you can see here, Data Union Foundation, huge wave of no votes, 7 million. Look at this. Or here, Clean Docks, 6 million, almost 7 million votes yes. So there was suddenly a huge wave of additional votes coming in, and nobody knows where they actually come from. So, and then rumors, of course, start to get vibrant, and people start to get crazy about, it looks like we requested the maximum of funds, and typically they all voted pro proposals with not requesting the maximum funds. But this is just an assumption. It might be coincidence. It's just a correlation. It's not the root cause. And then in the town hall meeting after this voting, projects were willing to change their roadmap because of this outcome, just based on assumptions. And overall, here we had 30 votes in the proposal voting round, and only 9 made it. And this is way less than in other rounds, perhaps driven by this burn as much tokens, let's burn tokens, and then we can increase token value.
So
and
in some
this,
ways, I see this as a cautionary tale
yeah,
to what may potentially happen when our own token is public.
Now, what I want to point out is what happened as a reaction. So the teams who, for example, some of these teams have 3, 5, 8 team members. They have to somehow want to continue their work. Now, where can we get funds to not be forced to stop? So they are really panicking. So it makes a huge difference, even though everybody, I guess, has to be aware that DAO voting is always a likeliness of being not successful. Even we were very well prepared to start from zero again after the voting, because it looked bad most of the time. But still, teams are panicking now, and they say, what can we do? And then there was one team who joined this unofficial investor channel offering an AMA. And I think this was actually a pretty good move. And they had good response. So being there, answering on question, appreciate voters, even though you sometimes think, oh, they just don't get it. But some of them still get it. And I think you very well know that people want to be acknowledged as they have their own role, they have an impact, they should have a say, and they have responsibility. And this person, I think, realized and took action. But overall, many of the projects are building stuff and they don't have a community behind them. And then they came to us, they came to me and to Tamara. And now everywhere in the Ocean DAO, people are praising, TE Commons. You are doing such a great job with community development, with developing a culture, with being very aware, careful with your vision and hence the mission of this community. And everything you do feels like grounded on very well grounded in a culture and in a vision. And we don't have that. And in such a situation, we are really lost. And we are just then lost in any kind of rages, rants, and dynamics that we can't control, can't impact at all. And this was the interesting move to me, because this wasn't on my radar as well, you can go out as a community. And then if you had such a group, or if you see such dynamics, negative dynamics, you can speak up and your community can speak up. And in a way you can, this is a very impactful and important way to get involved in such decision making, just because you have more people who understand and can speak up, and this way impact decision making and impact people's opinions. And I think this is, again, this wasn't on my radar, but I was wondering, this could be some of the things we do whenever we want to support token engineering initiatives. So it can be, for example, that all the projects who get support via TE Commons also get support if they go to other DAOs. And we are committed to support them in voting process or in presentations or just in communities. I think this can make a huge difference and is an incredible value. Of course, this is not about manipulating. I always would be transparent who we are, why we say, disclose our relationship, but still, it really makes a difference if you have people, just crypto people, keeping the, let's say, voting for rationality, voting for good discussion culture, voting for the reasoning, voting for why token engineering public goods, voting for the general vision of TE Commons, that is just can really have a huge impact. That is what I wanted to share.
Thanks for sharing that, and thanks for recognizing how strong the culture of the token engineering commons is actually, and credit to everyone in this room for making that happen.
It's not only me.
Yeah. Oh.
So this is acknowledged from outside, obviously. So I think this is something probably not that visible to TE Commons because people don't come and tell you, but I think that people really see that.
Cool. So I think you did a really great job of this sort of explaining that the value of token engineering research is maybe not appreciated as much in other DAOs where funding can also be acquired for token engineering projects, not just in our own token engineering commons, and the strength of having a community behind advancing token engineering everywhere on every platform that's available to advancing token engineering.
Yeah.
So I'd love if we could start the discussion and share ideas around how token engineering commons can support token engineering and these initiatives, and how token engineers can become and feel more part of the token engineering commons community, and concrete actions that we can take to start that, so that we can continue to support all the initiatives for Token Engineering Academy and other projects that are mainly incubated and coordinating on token engineering Discord and other places. And I maybe want to ask, do you have some thoughts around that already? And then we could probably pass it around to have the stewards also share any thoughts or ideas that they might have about strengthening those relationships.
I mean, if you ask me, I think that I would love to see you guys or more people from TE Commons coming to TE Academy programs, because it's important that you understand how token engineering works in practice. And I think the rewards research group would be an awesome opportunity, because there we have this combination of the social aspect and the token engineering aspect. And I think it's also just exciting to come with your experience now as stewards or as community members, with your experience on reward systems, practical experience, and then work on improvements. I think that this would be just an awesome match, and is also a great opportunity to learn more about actual token engineering. So to whoever this might be interesting, but I think it's important that everybody has this general understanding what token engineering, how this works in practice. And then the second is this community element where this, we go out to promote and support token engineering activities wherever it needs support. This, of course, is not only related to TE Academy, it's related to all kinds of token engineering projects. And I think as soon as we have our own TE Commons funding pool up and running, we'll see, or it's just we have a better picture of what these projects are, who they are, and where we can support. A, with token engineering, of course, and B, with our community. And I think we can set up a whole, I don't know, I mean, it can be a mechanism like, okay, whenever you receive a token TE Commons funding, in addition to that, you get visibility on our own channels. We can create communications partnerships or even community culture partnerships, and then this way also provide support and visibility for the projects we fund and we want to see successful. And I think I mean, my expectation is that at least 80% of the proposals we might fund in the future, there it makes total sense that we have co-funding from other DAOs and communities. So yeah, we can make it a playbook, we can make it a mechanism, it can be case by case, but I think there are really a lot of routes we can take that are not, where it's not a matter of money, it's a matter of community support, and we can make really a huge difference.
Cool. Do you want to pass it to someone to keep it going?
Mitch.
Thank you very much. I have some things to say, and then I have to unfortunately leave early. My biggest frustration that I think the Token Engineering Academy could help out with is getting feedback from token engineers and actual experts, because we're building these things like bonding curve tools and conviction voting and reward systems, and often I feel like I'm flying blind because I'm not an expert. I'm just like maybe the most motivated person at the time, and so I feel like often when I pointedly ask people who would know better than me, it kind of falls on deaf ears. And then post fact, when we've already built the tool, they come swooping in and they say like, oh, you guys did everything wrong. And it's like, well, like, imagine how frustrating that is. For me, that would be awesome to have like the token engineer hotline and like being able to help us build this stuff.
Yeah. I guess I know what you mean. The problem is that there is no hotline to fix token engineering, because it's not about the hotline itself, it's about the process. I think sometimes people expect, hey, there must be an answer to this question, but many times it's not just an answer. You have to take time to dig into it. Then you have to explore certain scenarios or edge cases. And then you are in not a matter of let's take an hour to take a look at it, or let's take a day. This is a matter of weeks or even months. And this is why I guess token engineers are hesitate to sign up for, hey, here's a case, let's provide feedback, quick feedback.
So
this is a challenge.
Yeah, I think during this brainstorming session, it's really important to make sure that everyone is going to have 2 to 3 minutes to speak.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's just, I just want to make sure that everyone has their space to share their thoughts and ideas too. So I'm going to be a little strong with the clock and timers. And maybe we just throw the ideas out and just see later which ones we can actually act on and which ones we wouldn't be able to act on. And Mitch, is there anything else you wanted to share, or are you ready to pass?
Yeah, a couple more points. I think the reason I'm not hesitant, but that I don't interact with the token engineering Discord is just the bandwidth of like being present in multiple different Discords. So, I mean, to me, it would be easier if they were just the same place. And I guess for me, I was really confused when I first joined the Token Engineering Commons, and they were in the process of migrating, and I was like, whoa, why are these different entities? You know, it never really made sense to me, and I feel like as a result, it feels like the Token Engineering Commons is filled more and more with members that don't really know anything about token engineering, which is probably my biggest frustration. And meanwhile, the Token Engineering Discord is full of them, but it's like we don't have any crossover, and I don't understand why they're different.
Do you want to pass it?
I'll give it to Livy.
Thanks. Yeah, I think now that you said it, maybe I see the token engineering channel more like the TE Academy Discord, because it feels like a lot of what happens in the academy is mostly on that server. And I do feel also like it's a little bit of a bummer that there's not more cross-pollination, and there is this like difficult thing of like keeping up with two servers all the time. And maybe there are some channels of integration that we could build, like what you were mentioning, Angela, about the community giving more support. I imagine it would be great if we had a shared chat where all types of token engineering proposals or initiatives that are happening in the ecosystem can be posted there, and that we know that there is like, oh, we need to give support to this, we need to give support to this, and maybe have like a quick, in our community call, a moment where we could share some of the TE initiatives that are happening in the ecosystem and links on how to provide feedback, what is needed, who is involved, and things like that. It would create awareness also about who are people that are working on token engineering projects, and maybe slowly we could start building this like optimal feedback for the projects that are happening everywhere, including the ones that we're building here. I'll pass to Juanca.
Yeah, I think there are also some bridges that stopped working some months ago, and it would be good to do some maintenance to those bridges, because that way we can have like the same discussion in both servers. And also what it's my impression is that maybe there's like this gap between people who has like a lot of expertise in the issue and people who has less. So maybe we could make, I don't know, a course or like a training, but like very focused and tailored for the people who is in the TEC that feels that they still have like a lot of ground to cover to enter into more advanced TE Academy projects and courses. And I'll pass to Septi.
Yeah, for me, like, one thing that would benefit all of us is like having, I don't know if we have a calendar like we see that, but having like a calendar for, you know, like all the key events that are happening, and, you know, see like to coordinate so they do not happen at the same time, TE and TEC, because then it's when you have to choose. But if you have like, like you see like different events at yeah, and maybe also, I don't know, maybe having calls like in the TV server or also having calls in the TV or even bridge both these calls and make one. I don't know if that's a possibility, but I think that would be very beneficial. And yeah, those are my thoughts. I'll pass it to it.
Thank you, Septi. I agree with communications coordination. This is something that we're actually preparing for in the near future. We are doing a lot of creative onboarding right now because we would like to offer in the comms working group. We would like to offer comms services as a public good for token engineering related projects. So the idea is that we can do this kind of coordination between communities for like some common campaigns or something like this. So I agree with this. This is something that we are very anxious to see in a near future. And yes, I would also suggest that I think like out of all of the Discord wizards that are in the community, I think only Kai has experience with channel bridging. I agree that this could be something really important for communities, but I know that Kai is super busy, so maybe we could ask ViV to take a look at the bot, and so that we can achieve this as soon as possible. And yeah, I think that's it. I'll pass it to Captain Wen. Griff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just on Kai. He's on paternity leave. He just had a baby like a couple months ago, so he'll be back in like a month. But that being said, hey, if bridges don't work, they need to work tomorrow, right? So it'd be great to have Vi on that. On bridging the communities, I would love to start doing our community call in the TE Discord. I think that would be a good move forward. Maybe not until Commons Upgrade, but like maybe at Commons Upgrade we make some major changes. I think it'd be super cool to make this Discord that we have now only available to token holders, and then do most of our public outreach calls in the TE Discord, and then have this more focused on like, you know, funding decisions and really DAO focused decisions, and have our token engineering public goods work happen in the TE, in the token engineering Discord, is where it can have more, where there's more token engineers, where it's more focused on that kind of stuff. I think that would be cool. Also, I feel like there's a lot of value in having you know, it adds value to the TE token too. It's like more, you know, cleaner discussions can happen in the TE Discord if it's not if you have to have tokens to get in. And I would also, yeah, I think we have to remember we're still building the DAO. You know, we're putting so much resources into actually getting this stuff launched that we haven't put in the resources to really build, you know, support token engineers. It's like, I like this analogy of like we're building an opera house for opera singers, but we, you know, the opera house is still under construction. So like, you know, the opera singers like soon, you know, like, but like they don't necessarily, obviously they could sing to us while we continue to launch the project, but you know, once everything's up and running, then I think we'll have so much more bandwidth to really do the outreach and the building. Yeah, and I do think that there will be a natural, it will happen naturally once there's a launch. And I think especially when we start adding value to the token engineering space, then they'll want to come hang out with us, and we'll want, and when we have more bandwidth, we'll want to go hang out with them because we did a good job with the mission. So like the mission is very clear. So it'll happen naturally. And I really am excited for the team, the Token Engineering Amplify team, the TE Comms DAO, to come to full force, because I think that will probably be, like, I loved your idea, Angela, of supporting token engineering initiatives with other DAOs. I think that's a really good way to like multiply the impact of our own tokens, like common pool. Nate, did you go?
Not yet, but thank you. We'll take it. I was going to say that, I was just reading the Ocean thread, your proposal, and the sentiment that was displayed is kind of a common sentiment that I've seen in general, where people kind of value applied research over general research, and that is something that really it's unfortunate, but it's something that we have to encounter on a daily basis. And I think that the best way to solve some of these problems, especially what Mitch was saying about creating links between legitimate token engineers within the space who have this clout and this knowledge base to really push this field of science forward, is to really legitimize the science in every capacity that we can, and legitimize the TE Academy, and making sure that that we have support for these types of proposals and show support for those proposals. But I have a hard time distinguishing the TE community versus like TE Academy and TE Commons. I think it's all the same, and so the way we set up the infrastructure is kind of, I don't know, it's irrelevant for me. I think I like the ideas that Griff had as like some short-term things that we can accomplish, especially after the Commons upgrade, once we build out the tools necessary for this to happen. But I think that bringing legitimacy to token engineering as a field of science is the number one priority in terms of our mission as the TE Commons, and the benefit for the TE Academy and the TE community in general. And so doing that means we need to produce research. And so that means like the governance reward system, and it needs to be publicized everywhere. I mean, it needs to be pushed out to different communities who are in need of that type of information, because there are a lot of projects that come to the TE Commons Discord server and say, hey, we want advice on how to design our token. We want advice on how to organize our community. And these are questions that have been coming up for, many times over the past couple months, and something that we can provide answers to, but we have to have a vehicle for transferring that information to them. And, and I think once we do that and we start legitimizing it, we'll have a lot more token engineers starting to pop their heads up, and developers becoming interested in the field and really progressing that. So those are just my thoughts, but I will pass it to Tam.
And I think I might even be the last one to go. And so I'll say some thoughts that I have is the idea that I love the idea that it's the same community, actually. Like, this is really starting to grow on me. Like, we are one community, and there's a few things. The idea of Token Engineering Commons accessibility to Token Engineering Academy's courses. Maybe we haven't been very good at putting that on everyone's radar when there are courses available. I've heard somebody say that they took the TE course, and I was like, oh, I didn't even know that happened. So somehow having these promotions happening so that everyone in the TEC is aware that the Academy is having courses and that it's available and open to all of us. And even in our community call, every time there's an introduction to token engineering, making sure that's well publicized. The other thing I was thinking is our community call spotlights. We've been Nate has really been leading the charge on this, looking at other options for how we handle our community spotlight. And one of the ideas was this something similar to a startup pitch session, where it's like there's 3 or 4 projects and there's 1 hour, and maybe once a month we host on TEC 3 projects or 2 or 3 projects, depending on how much time we want to allocate, just pitching their projects. So the token engineers become really familiar with Token Engineering Commons Discord, and Token Engineering Commons Discord becomes really familiar with token engineers who are proposing their projects. So some sort of like monthly event where we all come together could be really cool, and the Spotlight could be a great use case for that. And then lastly, and I think I have a few seconds left, a minute left. Our Medium as a channel is could use some blog posts by token engineers. If there's something, even like an interview, like a series of interviews, so that we can interview token engineers, and it's not something that somebody needs to sit down and write an article and then spend a lot of time doing it. But somebody can sit down with somebody from the TEC for an hour, and we can put something together to start highlighting and showcasing certain token engineers. And that's another way that we can sort of bind the fabrics of us together. So those are I think the immediate ideas that came to mind. And then I just want to double down on the idea of a simple action we can do now is have an amplified channel for proposals. So we have an amplified channel for tweets, but we can have an amplified channel for proposals, and just anytime there is token engineering project that needs a community to sort of get behind it and show force, we can use that channel for that purpose. Those the 4 things I was thinking. Eduardo, I know you didn't have a chance to go. Do you feel like you can jump in now, or it's just an idea of bringing the token engineering and Token Engineering Commons community together? I don't know if you have context. Okay, good.
Yeah, it'll just be quick. I think it's an opportunity that we sort of pass by many times, and I think the TE can bring a lot of validation to the TEC, and I think TEC can bring a lot of visibility to a niche community like the TE, and it could be a very productive effort when we put on it. And just yesterday on the orientation call we had with Tam, there were a lot of people coming from and seeking information about token economics, and I sometimes felt short on answers, and I think there is this gap of knowledge that we can and things that we can sort of cross build together, and it will take a few probably months to build it up and make it flowy and make it like people are aware of it, but I think it's an effort worth taking. So that's my 2 cents on that.
Okay, and I'll pass it back to you, Angela, if you want to share in these last 5 minutes any thoughts that you have about the things that we've brainstormed so far.
Yeah, first, thanks for sharing. I realize it's really helpful to also, we don't have the chance, everybody's busy focusing on own stuff, and it's really helpful to, just follow your lines of thinking. I think why we started with different Discord channels was I can't even really remember if there was really a discussion. Second Discord was spin up. Praise experiments on all kinds of stuff, and it was just, I guess, a matter of let's have a second channel to be independent, and then TE Commons became more and more important, not in terms of being a place to meet, but also in terms of infrastructure. While TE mainly then became the channel for TE Academy, where we gather our research groups, in our courses, where we facilitate, distribute. And this leads me to a second point. We are having the challenge, I guess, pretty similar to you. So people, we have these monthly introduction to token engineering calls, 90 minutes, and then people ask, okay, now what's next for me? And we are at the moment developing and fundraising TE Fundamentals, which would be the first bachelor level education program for token engineers, including a certificate. But that's great. And this will be our next proposal on other communities. But of course, there's so much to read. There's so much to learn. It's all there. It's just not accessible. And what we were planning for is, okay, we need to create maybe a channel on Discord and a reading program, a preliminary reading program, or collection of videos. We have so many videos of lectures to have a solid program. So if you want to learn, go for yourself, or then we can on top of that build even study groups. So a lot of material to provide in a better way. We have really limited bandwidth. I hope it will be better now from November, and maybe we can collaborate on this to create this. Okay, this is something that is interesting for an own learning journey on token engineering. This is something that is relevant at the TE Discord as well as the TEC Discord, and that by that, step by step, improving the way we bring together the community asset and the token engineering asset. I think we could take this as a starting point and then see what could be next and what could be next. And the final remark on, we have the same requests on here. We are building a crypto project. We are going to launch our token. Can somebody in our community or in your community help us? And it's just, this is not a difference in any way. This is a problem on the TEC Discord, and this is a problem on the TE Discord, quite similar. We don't have enough token engineers, and it's super hard to get them, no matter if this is non-profit projects or if we have the millions of funding DAOs. It's super hard to get token engineering expertise because it's super scarce. And that said, I think it will, even if we have joint discords, this wouldn't solve the problem. It's a matter of slowly increasing the number, slowly increasing the education, more people, maybe also a variety of people focusing, one on governance, like the governors, others on monitoring system, others on the design of systems. But this will be a matter of years. So, but we should keep on doing it, keep on pushing.
We are at the top of the hour. So thanks, Angela, for joining us today. And thanks, everyone, for sharing this hour of your time.
Thank you.